Welcome, everyone. It's great to have you here this morning. My name is Lars Bildsten. I'm the director here at KITP, and I want to welcome you. I always like to start every conference by asking for how many of you is this morning your first time in Cone Hall? Raise your hand high. Fantastic. Okay, so we always say about 50% of the people here are new, so it's good to see it's true, or the new ones are the early risers. We'll find out as the day goes by. I really want to first start off by thanking the coordinators and see Murphy's here, and I don't see Cigar or Dave Weld or the other. Okay, so let's thank the coordinators for all their efforts. Everything here at the KITP that happens is because of our staff, and I want to first start by acknowledging them. So all of the heavy lifting for making things happen is by Claudia, our conference coordinator, so thank you, Claudia. As the week goes by, Claudia will be assisting. If anybody is bringing an extra person we don't know about for dinner on Tuesday or Wednesday, please let Claudia know so she can up the head count and collect the extra cash. All of IT is really an integral part of what we do here at the Institute, and of course everything's on Zoom for those who may not be here, but that's all happening because of IT. So I want to thank Craig. Craig, thank you. And I believe probably Alina is out there, and so thank you, Alina. We record all of our talks here at the Institute, and typically it's up on the web by the end of the day. That also means that when you're doing the question period, please use the microphones. And so there are 2 microphones, and Murphy, you'll be the session chair, so you can enlist people to help you run around to do that. That way the questions get on the recording rather than just the answers, so it doesn't sound like Jeopardy or some other game show, and so please do that. But again, for those of you giving talks, you've also gotten instructions on how to upload your talks and send them to us. So we also have your PDF slide deck in addition to the actual recording of the talk. The Institute is primarily funded by the National Science Foundation, so I just want to acknowledge that support. And I want to talk a little bit about how we decide what to do here at the Institute. Since many of you are new to us, we get proposals in November for long programs. This is a rare standalone conference. We typically don't do these. In this case, we decided to given the excitement in your field. But the typical event here is a 6 to 10 week long program where scientists, typically about 27, are here in residence with some fluxing, typical 3-week stay, to really be here and interact and move the field forward by having long-term interactions. Those programs come about as part of our work with our advisory board. So if you have ideas of programs you'd like to do, right now we are just wrapping up all of our planning through summer of 28. So the next 2 years are basically determined. But that means the next opportunity is in October, November to give us a pre-proposal. So if you have an idea you'd like to talk to me about, I'll be around in and out this week. Also, David Weld has got a lot of experience working on our advisory board, so he can advise if anybody has an idea. But we really take those pre-proposals and work with you, the community, to develop the long programs. So we typically start with 40 or 45 of those, and we boil it down to about a dozen programs. And that's how we decide what to do with the investment that we're getting from the National Science Foundation. Otherwise, a few more logistical items. So all of the lunches and breaks are in the courtyard, which is on a diagonal. You'll have dinner Tuesday and Wednesday night this week. And then the restrooms are down the hall. There's men's and women's, and then an extra gender-neutral restroom straight down this hall. Otherwise, there's a code of conduct. I encourage you to read it, but it's also in your package. And otherwise, I always look to Claudia, who tells me what I've forgotten. Okay. Parking, I guess if you got here, you figured out how to park. Otherwise, you park at the top of lot 10 is the correct answer. Okay, I'm going to hand this over to Murphy. He's going to say a few words, and then she's going to be the first session chair. Now, the other thing to say is that the time we have for discussions is part of our function here at the Institute. We want this, it says 30 plus 15. That means Murphy will enforce that there will be 15 minutes for questions. By setting a great example of the first chair, that means the conference will go well and all speakers will have opportunities for questions from the audience. So that is a hallmark of how we feel science needs to be done, which is opportunity for those questions and interactions. So with no further ado, I'm going to hand it off to Murphy, and she's going to get us going. And there you go.
Thank you so much, Lars. Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Murphy New. I'm an assistant professor from computer science department here at UCSB and a co-organizer. And I just had a baby 2 weeks ago. So this conference wouldn't have happened without our amazing co-organizers. So I want to suggest raise a round of applause to David Will, Cigar, and Xiaodi, and also the amazing leadership here at KITP. It's just an absolutely fantastic venue. And so this conference, the same name conference, Beyond Gate Quantum Computation, actually it's the second time we hosted. The first time was 2 years ago. We hosted it with Xiaodi in Maryland, and it wasn't like a mainstream thing, right? Beyond gate modeled. So we definitely want to encourage the whole community to rethink how to scale up quantum computer if we don't have to stick to the current plan, which is gate-based fault-tolerant quantum computation. And this is extremely ambitious goal, right? Because there's no alternative way that we know of to scale up things without having error getting out of control. And also there's so many open questions. What would be the application for real world problems if I give you a huge quantum computer but it's not fully fault tolerant? Can we do better than just gate-based? So with all these open questions, our first conference back 2 years ago, we didn't really get to the bottom of it. We're not even close. But we have so many amazing speakers talking about different type of computation paradigm, reservoir computing, quantum neural network, and so just opening people's eyes and opening opportunities, like Lars pointed out, to discuss and really interchange and have a place where interdisciplinary knowledge come together. And this is exactly our hope today, and this whole week, where we have professors from computer science, electrical engineering, theoretical physics, condensed matter, experimental physics, all get together. So we also want to facilitate such a discussion. So we added a discussion session tomorrow on Tuesday at 4:45 p.m. And I really encourage everybody to join us. Because we also hope to eventually write a white paper about this. And I encourage also postdocs, senior grad students to reach out to us to contribute to this discussion and the white paper writing. So with this ambitious goal in mind, I think it's proper to introduce Michel Deleritz, our first speaker of the day, the Nobel Prize winner this year. For his amazing work in macroscopic quantum tunneling in order to scale up quantum bits using superconducting qubits that's really harnessing the silicon technology of circuit. And Michel today will talk about this newest work, very recent work, on very, very close to what we're trying to do in this conference, defining quantum advantage, right? To probe the quantum classical separation through the measurement contextuality. Without further ado.